What's up? Radiohead with Creep. And man, let me tell you, why is this not a lesson on my channel yet? Well, it is now. But a lot of you guys have made requests for this. I didn't even look up, you know, it's on my forehead. I don't know what that was. A gnat? Yeah, I think it was. Anyways, this goes out to all of you that requested Creep from Radiohead. Standard tuning. And I'm going to show you two parts to this, the clean section and the distortion. And the clean section on the intro here has some altered ways that he's picking it. It's kind of just a by feel, how he's feeling it type thing. I'll give you the map out for the first one. Alright? Trying to fit in the screen here. Is that working? I think so. Here we go. Let's try it again. Take two. Idea there, okay? Right, sometimes it's oops. Just alter notes through there, and then when it comes out, it's I know, it's not the exact sound, but you know, it's better than dry. So anyways, let's do this. Standard tuning, like I said, this is the basic concept. They've got like the tremolo knob, which gives you that pulsating effect. Professionalism at its best with a one-man operation. Okay, some reverb, some delay. So the chords in this are G major, and they're bar chord form, so this is 3rd position G, 7th position B, these are all majors, 8th position C, and then 8th position C minor. So that's your chord outline, and let's jump into it. Like I said, he picks different notes throughout the whole song, but the chord structure is the same. So, oops. So, the G major, you're going to bar everything on fret 3. If you haven't played a bar chord, you're going to want to get comfortable with them, because they're tough in the beginning. So it's everything 3rd fret, then we go 5A, 5D, 4G. If you notice, that's an E major shape. If you take it down to the open position, you can relate it to that. Typically you'd be playing with those fingers, right? But if you think of this finger setup, you would just drop that E major chord shape over the 5th, 4th, and 5th, and 4th fret, and then we're barring the 3rd fret. All right, so the picking. Go 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3. You can down pick it all if you want. Get a smoother sound though. If you pick in the direction of the next string, which is how Radiohead is doing it. You can go down, down, up, down, down, up. All right. Then go 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3. It's a memorization game on this one. So. You will need the pause feature in this one. Anyways, 6, 5, 6, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3. And if you're really wanting to get the picking right, Follow my advice. Pick in the direction. Here I am, down here. Oh, need a haircut. Pick in the direction. So if you're on the D string and your next one is the G, you would pick down to get to that G. If you got to go back to the D string, play that G with an up. You know what I mean? Just kind of a general rule. I don't like saying there's set rules in music because everyone's different. But that is a technique that's very popular and very commonly used for a reason. Alright, so now we'll take the same shape. Here's how I want you to think of this. It's a G major here. We're going to move it up to fret 7. Do the exact same thing. So 7, 9, 9, 8, 7, 7. And this time, the picking's a little different. 6, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3. So 6, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3. Okay? And then go 4. Then we need this. 3. So up to the 9th fret on the D, take your pinky and just flatten it down and go. Pick that one. So you'll go 9G, 9D, and 9A. So, oops. And then go to the 8 on the G. That middle finger's already there, so it's a matter of dropping this down, which is how I do it, and then lifting it up when you need to. And then go A, G, D. And I would pick that down, up, up. Isn't that the NBC sound? Boom, doom, doom. I don't know. Oops. Okay, now we're going to do the same picking, but we're going to take this B major chord, move it a half step sharp. Half step, remember, is 1 fret, so boom, we move it 1 fret. And it's now a C major. It's a major because we haven't changed our form here, right? When we first started the lesson, I was telling you how if you follow it down to the open position, it's a E major there. So anywhere we move this, it's going to be a major chord, and the root of the chord will give you the name of the chord. So now we went from G to B, now we're going to C major. Pick it the same way. Exactly the same way on that one. Like I said though, you have the liberty and freedom to change up the strings. I'm just giving you the model off of the first time through. 6, 5, 3, 4, and then 5, 3. And then go string 4, and then bring the pinky down to where you're barring now the 10th fret. Go strings 3, 4, and 5. And then go to the 9th fret G, just lift up that bar. And then go 5, 3, 4. So if you have it memorized in the B major position, do the same thing on the C major. Oops. And then from there, I love these transitions from major to minor. The Beatles were just amazing at this. So now we're going to an E minor shape. It's an E minor shape. Here's what I mean by that. But in the big picture, all you're going to have to do is lift that middle finger off. But if you followed, you got rid of the bar, followed this all the way down to fret 2, that's an E minor shape. Remember, here was our major. That's our 1, 3, 5, and our 1 flat 3, 5 for our minor. So without thinking all heavy theory in it, just major shape, minor shape. So if it's this shape up here, we know it's a minor chord, and the root, or the tonic, that's the C. So we know it's a C minor. So we're going from C major to C minor. The picking is different on this one, and it's also twice through. And this goes 6, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 4. You're going to do that twice. Okay, so that's really a main part of the song. And you're going to learn the other main part right now. That goes through a lot of times. So we have our G, B major, C major, C minor. Just kidding. Alright, so we're switching to distortion. And they got a fat sounding fret hand mute on this. I love it. Just go over around fret 2, 3, and 4. Take these 4 fingers, lightly set them over the strings, like dampening them. You don't want to even push down. You don't want a note to sound out. You want fret hand muting. Alright, so, and that's going to happen 3 times. If you push too hard, we don't want that. We want. And it does that 3 times, like I said. And then the G major comes in, and there's like a quick fret hand mute off like the top 2 or 3 strings leading into this G. Actually, you won't even need the B note of this. So the G chord you want to use is 3E, muted A, open D, open G, 3B, 3 high E. The natural angle from your middle should mute that A string. You should be good to go. Alright, so but that's what you're transitioning from that triplet, which is from the fret hand muting. And he randomly kind of hits throughout the chord in there. In other words, like, you don't want to just drive through it. It's like randomly pick some of the strings you can hear in the background. And then, so from there, let's take it from the fret hand mute again. So from the G major, we're going to go into B major. And this is basically a power chord with an octave in it. Actually, it's going to have the E flat in it as well. 2A, 4D, 4G, 4B. I bar that with my pinky. If that's too tough, you can try it with your third, or you can do a little trick that I used to do where you bar like the D and G and then drop your pinky down here. You can do it like this. There's different routes to go. I suggest this way. Get used to doing that, because that's kind of how the power chord would work anyways. It's just an oversized power chord here. B major is the name of this. Same kind of concept. There's basically like 3 strum hits in it, some random, you know, little string picks. And then the next part is octaves, and he's just jamming on this, machine gun in it, alternate picking. You're gonna play the 3A and the 5G. You want this index angled to mute not only the D string, but underneath the low E. A lot of people miss that sometimes, and they'll end up strumming it, and then you'll have this open E ringing in. We focus so much on making sure the in between is muted that we forget to do above. And if you're doing something down and up, especially at this speed, you're going to wind up hitting that low E string, and you're going to want it muted. I go as far as to actually mute the B and E with the angle of my index. If you can do that, that's even better. Alright, so so it's 16 times. You probably will be better off not trying to count that. If you have to, go for it. You know, especially if you're a beginner, you may want to count it out. But you know, it's a measure's worth, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4. But we have to fill that with 16th notes. And from there, we're going to move. Those are C octaves, by the way. That's a C note. That's the octave C. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, di, do. Alright, so we have. I hope I did the count right by saying 16. I did. And then you're going to do the same thing on the 5th fret and 7th fret. Same strings, just move the whole shape a whole step up. Remember, still mute that low E. So from there, you're going to go from those D octaves, after doing them 16 times, to the D sharp or E flat octaves, which would be fret 6 on the A and fret 8 on the G. And that'll actually be, shoot, 17 technically, because you're going to slide to the final octave. You're going to slide up to F, which is going to be fret 8 and 10. And once you get there, strum it once, and you can hear like a real, like in between quarter and half step bend when they get up there. Let's take it from here, because I hope I didn't say the wrong amount of times on those octaves. For a second there I thought it might be double when I told you, but we have. I was checking it out. It is 16. Oops. Minor. So, you know, they change around, like I said. So, let's drop these down. And let me explain a few things that may help you as you're practicing on this. You hear me talk about subgroups a lot, right? For one, if you're new to playing bar chords, like I said early on in this lesson, one thing I used to do, this kind of fits in line with the subgroup, but 2 points at once, I guess, is I would practice barring across all 6 strings and seeing if I can get those clear. Another thing I notice people will make mistakes when they're first doing bar chords is they'll try to go flat on there, and it really takes more work to do that, and that's not how you want to do it. You want to kind of go off on the edge of the finger, and you can curve it a little bit, like that, and then you lay these down. So the purpose the bar is serving is for strings 6, 2, and 1, because strings 5, 4, and 3 are covered with this E major shape, right? Memorize the picking pattern, you know, that I taught you, but after you do that, mix it up, because Radiohead mixes it up. Any strings that you hit, once these notes are set down on the chord, are going to fit with the song because they are in that chord. You wouldn't want to go. You know what I mean? You could, but it wouldn't sound right. So you're safe within all the notes of this chord. It's key that you change chords, obviously, in time. So when 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they all have the same amount of time, each chord. So make sure that those are landing right. I would say step 1 is you got to have the chord clarity. Once the chord clarity is there, you can focus more on the strings that you're picking, right? And I guess that's it for the clean part. And then you go into the you can subgroup the picking too. You know, you could take like and just keep repeating that. And just get used to them on a smaller scale, and then build off of that. That's the whole subgroup concept anyways. The fret hand muting, you know, that is what it is. You got to get used to that. It's tricky when you got to go from fret hand to chord, fret hand to chord, or fret hand to notes in a solo. So this is a good introductory for learning fret hand muting, because it's just down up and you should have a muted sound. Okay, so that's it. I hope that this lesson helps you get this song down. Radiohead's good, man. They got their own sound. I've liked them from the beginning. And there's it's hard to fit into that niche, you know, where you got your own vibe. You know, bands like U2 and Zeppelin, and they got it, man. What do you guys think of Muse? Just curious. You got that crazy whacked out guitar that you can do all this. I'd like to mess with one of those, maybe one of these days. But I love the strings. So anyways, if you need to email me, Mike@rockinguitarlessons.com is my email. I have a few different emails. If you read the description below, you'll see. It's kind of like a little book down there below, but it has all the information you need. I do teach on Skype, guitar, bass, and my wife Jolene teaches vocals. And I also offer CVT lessons, custom video tablature lessons. You can research that further. We fixed it on the website because people were having trouble finding the tutorial and the information about CVT lessons and what they're all about. I have them here on the channel, but if you go to rockinguitarlessons.com, you'll see it right at the top now. It'll say Skype lessons and CVT lessons. Click on it and it'll drop down, and then you click on the underneath one for the CVT lessons. It'll explain to you what it's all about. Really cool, man. Been doing a lot of those lately for people that have trouble, getting like the set day, set time each week for lessons. So if you have any questions, let me know. I do my best to try and contact you guys as much as I possibly can. It's at a point now where it's, I'm going to tell you, keep making requests. It's just, I got to be realistic too. This channel is really about you guys and me bringing the music that you want. And it's just, I've got so many subscribers. It's almost 71,000. But I still write them down and I'm randomly pick them. I don't do them in order. I just kind of randomly will, when I get to it, yours may be next. So don't be shy. I know several of you are like, dude, please. There's certain ones that are sticking in my mind. I got a couple people that are like, I wish I could remember the song now. It was, geez, I'm not going to remember it, man. Definitely some Avenged Sevenfold and stuff. But until next time, I'm Mike Gross, rockinguitarlessons.com. Make sure you keep subgrouping, practicing, taking your time. Don't rush through things. Every note counts, make it count, and your playing will improve. Check out my website too, rockinguitarlessons.com, and fill out that contact information, because you could win some stuff, man.